Most people meet me as an OB-GYN, but that's not where this story starts. I was born into chaos, raised by a grandmother in post-war Korea, shaped by poverty, violence, discipline, and survival. The military made me a man. Medicine made me useful. Women made me a witness. For over 35 years, I've stood at the edge of life, watching fear, power, systems, and miracles collide. This isn't a podcast about pregnancy. It's about truth and how systems fail people, about how fear gets dressed up as policy, and about what happens when you stop obeying and start thinking. This is Chun Unfiltered. If you're looking for comfort, this may not be your place. If you're looking for clarity, sit down. I didn't grow a backbone in medicine. I arrived with one. My mother was 15 years old when she became pregnant through violence. That's how I was conceived. I was born at home with no prenatal care in war-torn Korea with my grandmother attending. I used to ask my mother how many months pregnant she was with me. She would just stare at me. How would she know? There were no records, no doctors, just survival. The first 12 years of my life were shaped by poverty and violence, and they followed us to the United States for the first year we were here, until my mother packed us up and ran away. She chose safety. I never thought of my childhood as an obstacle. I thought of it as fuel. It didn't make me bitter. It made me focused. Growing up in Korea, the military was part of everyday life. Discipline and order weren't abstract ideas. They were survival tools. Around the time I learned we were coming to America, I caught a glimpse of an Army-Navy football game. What struck me wasn't the score. It was the composure of the young men on the field. That was the first time I saw who I wanted to become. Someone grounded, disciplined, and responsible for more than himself. I didn't drift into that path. I committed to it early, and I followed through. I see my life clearly as before and after the United States Naval Academy. The Academy didn't just educate me. It taught me restraint, accountability, and respectful responsibility. It taught me that leadership is about service, not control. Somewhere along the way in medicine, something became clear. I wasn't just meant to be a doctor. I was meant to be an obstetrician. To stand at the beginning of life, to protect it without controlling it, felt inevitable. Not because of one moment, but because of everything that came before it. The circumstances of my birth, my grandmother's humility, my mother's perseverance, discipline, medicine. I say I became an OB-GYN by accident, but nothing about this path was accidental. Living the life I lived taught me something early. Vulnerability isn't theoretical. It's being dependent on systems that may or may not protect you. That's why I react so strongly when women are rushed, dismissed, or talked over. I don't see a patient. I see a human being who deserves time, dignity, and understanding. That's not politics. That's decency. Becoming a father, especially to a daughter, deepened their understanding even more. And there's one more lesson I learned along the way, quietly and without pride. Before I was ready for fatherhood, I was part of a decision that ended a pregnancy. That experience wasn't abstract, it wasn't simple, and it isn't something I carried lightly. It taught me that choices around pregnancy are complex, personal, and often made under pressure. That you can believe deeply in life and still understand how vulnerable people are when they're forced to decide. That experience stripped away judgment. It left me with respect. It reinforced something I believe to my core. There are always two sides to every story. I've been extraordinarily fortunate, born in Korea under circumstances that could have ended me, and given the chance to live in the best country in the world. I never forget that. I'm still humbled by it. That's why I don't flinch. That's why I don't bow to institution. That's why I don't rush women. And that's why I don't tolerate fear being used as control. This work isn't abstract to me, it's personal. And I carry the responsibility into every room with every woman, every time. I don't promise answers. I promise honesty. What you heard today isn't theory, it's lived, carried by thousands of women who trusted me at their most vulnerable. If this made you uncomfortable, good. Growth usually is. Until next time, stay awake. This is Chan Unfiltered.